Hello, my name is Casey Freeman. I'm here to tell you why I think I would be a great teacher in one of your programs. I'm from the USA. I've grown up all over the country, from Oregon, North Dakota, South Dakota, Colorado, New York, Illinois, Montana. Uh, I've also lived in South Korea, which is where I met James Moy, and we became friends. I know he's got a lot of friends. I'm one of them. We've been friends for 6 or 7 years now. I taught in Korea for 6 years. I worked, first of all, in what's called a Hagwon, which is an after school academy. So, Korean students will usually go to school, and after school, they go to one of these academies to focus on math or history or science or English. And I taught at an English academy. I taught, excuse me, I taught at an academy that focused for students who were about mid level, who were in middle school and elementary school. Uh, in my free time, sometimes I taught at a kindergarten. So these were really, really beginners who were just learning ABCs, just learning how to say, "Hi, my name is Casey." Some of my students at the academy were really great and could speak full sentences, full paragraphs, could read, write, and do everything. So that was my first year. My second year, I got a job at a university, so which is probably my favorite job of all time. I worked at the university for 3 years, and then I got a different job at a university for another 2 years. So I worked as a university professor for 5 years. In those 5 years, I wrote 4 textbooks. One textbook was on business English, so I wrote a textbook on how to go on a job interview, how to shake a hand, how to write a resume, how to complain to your boss. I wrote one book on how to take the TOEIC exam, so I wrote lots of grammar, lots of test taking skills, how to give a speech, how to have a debate, and just I mixed in as much English as a second language stuff as I could. I also taught classes on writing, film appreciation, travel, so uh, how to be a good tourist, how to ask for directions, how to order room service, stuff like that. I At the university, I thought it was really difficult because I taught all levels at the same time. At the academies, I might be teaching students who had spent time in America or spent a lot of time at an academy, and they were all at about the same level. The university, maybe I'd have a student who said, "Me name Casey, me like pizza," or I'd have one of those students who is almost fluent. So I'd have to design a class that would be interesting for this student who isn't very good and for the student who is really, really good. So that was all really difficult for me. But the challenge was fun. One of my first jobs ever was working as a teacher. I worked as a swimming teacher. So I taught swim lessons, and I taught swim lessons to little kids all the way up to adults. And there are a lot of similarities between teaching swim lessons and teaching English as a second language. Sometimes you act as a coach or a psychologist. Sometimes you have students who are different ages or different levels. Maybe they're afraid of something. So you got to help them work it all out. One of the things I also enjoyed was running the English club. I did that at both universities. We had an English club and tutoring sessions. So if the students had questions about their homework, if they didn't understand something, they wanted to know what Christmas is like in the USA, or they just wanted to talk, they could come to the English club or the English zone and do that. And I was always happy to help there. Sorry, excuse me, there's a cough going around. One thing I want my students to know is memorizing the dictionary, memorizing the encyclopedia, memorizing the wiki pages about English doesn't mean you can speak English. The only way you can learn how to speak English is by speaking English. That's why in my classes I make my students give speeches and talk to each other. So in my classes, we go on job interviews. We complain to our bosses. We order food. We do all kinds of things, and we give speeches. I think giving a speech is something you can use if you're speaking English, Chinese, Korean, Swahili, Spanish, any language. You're going to have to give a speech sooner or later. I studied journalism at the University of Colorado. So before I came to Korea, I worked as a newspaper writer and a newspaper editor. And I also worked at a magazine, so I adapted to writing and reading a lot. My undergraduate degree, I have a bachelor's of English, and that's from New York University. I have a TEFL certificate from Bridge Linguitech, and that's online. And let's see, any other good things? I'm available just about any time. If you have an opening, I can certainly come around right now. What am I doing right now? Right now I live in Montana, which is one of the bigger states size-wise, but not so many people. I work in the financial aid department of the Montana State University. I mostly tell people how their financial aid works. So how are you going to pay for this university? Honestly, I don't like it that much. I'm much more interested in teaching, not so much as a salesman. So my heart is in teaching. I believe in teaching. Working in financial aid is just not for me. If you need to contact me, my email address is mrkcfreeman. My phone goes everywhere I go. I hope to hear from you soon, and thanks for listening to my 9-minute long speech. Okay, have a great day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Bye.